We will examine China's transition from a hunting and gathering society to an agricultural society where they developed ways to grow crops and domesticate animals. Jared Diamond in Guns, Germs, and Steel offers an explanation of how geographical location impacts the future development of different societies into agricultural societies. Diamond believes that geographical variation is what impacts the timing of when different areas transitioned to agricultural society and the ability to make a shift. Civilizations will become more technologically advanced as they move towards an agricultural society and create time for development of things other than food. There is a need to develop technological tools as well as tools for defense against other societies. China benefited from its geographical location to transition to an agricultural society based on their range of animals for domestication and their hardy crops. However, there were some barriers that limited how far they could develop, such as declining climate and landscape limitations, and therefore I would give them a B+ for their overall grade. In terms of agriculture, one of the most common crops in China is rice. The major impediment to agricultural growth is that only 10% of the land is capable of being used for crops. As a result, the crops must be constantly rotated so that they are in favorable conditions at different times of the year. The cultivation of rice is a process that can take 4 to 5 months. Rice must also be turned into seedlings, which is difficult to do. Although cultivating rice is a long process, rice can be stored for 3 to 6 months. Rice has a lot of nutritional value, such as sources of vitamin, and can be cooked and used in different ways. Rice is generally a good crop that can be used as food or exported. Another beneficial characteristic of China is their biodiversity and varied land types, which allow the domestication of many species of animals. There are a variety of animals such as pandas, alligators, and tigers. One of the dominant domesticated animals in China is pigs. These are generally easy to domesticate. Pork is also a source of nutrients that our bodies need and contains a lot of salt. Pig manure can be conserved and used as fertilizer. Unfortunately, pigs have spread disease and are not useful for transportation. There are many plants and animals in China due to the diverse landscape. This provides them with different foods and the ability to have different animals and plants survive. China transitioned from hunter-gatherers to agriculturalists in the Neolithic period. There was no one reason for the transition. One major factor for the transition was the need for food. The transition began in the north with the domestication of pigs and then progressed from there throughout China. China's climate has an overall positive impact on its development, since it is far from the equator and has an abundance of rainfall. This allows for the growth of plants and vegetation. However, China is known to be the world's largest polluter. In addition, temperatures fluctuate based on different areas in China. As a result, flooding is a risk which would impact the ability to produce food. Overall, China's geographic location is favorable to its transition from hunter-gatherer to an agricultural society. As Diamond would argue, China's ability to produce food had a positive effect on its transition. There's an abundance of food supply and animals, and the rich landscape and terrain is favorable to growing plants and domesticating animals. However, the agricultural landscape is impacted by the varied climate and the tendency to have floods or fires. With this will be a deterioration of the development of China as an agricultural society. Therefore, the overall grade for this area is a B+, due to the limitations imposed on its geographical location.